Hello everyone and welcome to a very special episode of Experience Kills. We're recording in the middle of the week rather than at the weekend. We're recording quite late in the evening, and that means we have a after dark episode for you. And that means only one thing. Cameron is here. Cameron,
Hello.
welcome back.
Hello, honey bunches.
Honey bunches. I'm really a little bit upset by whatever that means.
I don't know what else to call people.
Cam, perennial contributor to Experience Kills. We've not had you on in a while, especially not on a podcast. But we really want to make this happen. Hence the late night, the midweek, and the drinking that is currently happening. So how you doing, man?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't actually tell you guys, but this was more full of vodka and lemonade, but it's not anymore. So
Doing well. That's what I like. That's what I like. And also, look,
Pure
it's
vodka.
important. I was going to say it's important to remember. Rob is here as well, and he's beneath
Hello.
you today on the screens.
I'm always here. I'm here every week. I'm a
Yes.
regular feature now.
He is
It feels
absolutely.
weird. I feel part of the furniture.
Absolutely, in a good way though. We don't take it. You know, it's not like we take you for granted. We're you know, you're my partner in crime. You're my podcast, co-conspirator. And while we have, Richard coming in every other weekend, you're always here. And now we've got Cam as well. And it feels like that's bringing the whole family back together, ready for this new console generation, which is what is just knocking on the door now. It's so damn close. We can taste it. The excitement is palpable. So before we get into the news, and we're going to talk, we've got a topic that Cam suggested, which we're going to get into, and then some games he's been playing as well. But Cam, like, how are we feeling about this new gen? We haven't really touched base with you on this. I mean, you're a PlayStation guy. You're the Sony fanboy to balance out everybody else here who's an Xbox guy.
yeah, I'm sorry.
Clearly optimistic about the PS5 there.
It's really big.
It's big. I've got a couple of the gripes that's going on. Some things I'm really happy with that I'll actually be able to play. Like most of my library is online, so I'll be able to move most of that and play it on the PS5 when it comes through. A couple of gripes that I'm having a slight kind of, do I want to get it yet or not yet sort of situation, which is like the external drive. I know obviously it's got a huge drive in it, but
Well, it's not really huge. It's like less than 800 gig, which is pretty small by today's
but
standards.
take into effect all the systems like storage you have for it. But I've got on my PS4 though, which is a pretty basic one, but I've got like a 5 terabyte external drive with everything downloaded on it, and it works perfectly for me. So, if games are going to come out and they're going to keep getting bigger, ergo Call of Duty, which has been ridiculous,
Mm-hmm.
how is that? You're going to get like 4 games on the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
I'm hoping not.
So it's interesting because we talked a lot about, Rob, haven't we, about expandable storage options on Xbox, but the PS5 is kind of better and worse at the same time. So the fact is that they've said you're going to be able to plug
There's
an
more
NVMe drive.
compatibility.
Well, but they've said that there will be, but we don't actually
There's
know
more
that.
compatibility, just no list of what it's compatible
Yeah, but
with.
how do you know it's going to be more if it's only one drive they actually say is compatible? You don't know what they're
There are
going to
a
say is
variety
compatible.
of sizes of NVMe drives. This is assuming you can buy something from Scan or eBay and just plug it in.
But you won't,
But
because they've said it's only going to be the ones that they certify as that you can use, is what they've said.
yeah,
So it's kind of like, what is that?
That sounds like when they did the the PSP and the PS Vita, you could use like memory sticks or memory drives as storage, but you could only get PlayStation Vita memory sticks. You couldn't just get like a SanDisk 64 gig for 20 quid. No, you had to get like a 16 gig for like 60 quid.
Yeah.
And it was like PlayStation branded. And I was like, if that's going to be the case, I don't want to buy an Xbox yet. I'm not that.
But you
and
should.
how else are they
give
going
it.
to fit their branding on the memory stick if they don't charge you triple the price for half the storage space?
Is it Sony if they don't?
I mean, so I don't think it's that this time around. If anybody's doing that, let's be honest, it's Microsoft with the drives that are expansion drives, which are only coming from one manufacturer and that are £200 plus just to use, which are insane. That price is so high, you could literally almost buy an entire another console for that price, be it the S, but you could. So I don't think it's going to be as bad as that. But my only gripe is that PlayStation and Sony are not communicating strategy and what their plans are as clearly as Xbox. So they're just not putting their cards on the table so that consumers can make those educated decisions, which frustrates me. And it's just like, guys, we're now less than a month out. How do you not have this information in consumers' hands so that they know how to make this decision and what they should be making for these decisions? So that's what annoys me. But I think it's gonna be much of a muchness. I think the console hardware is very comparable in power. I think the storage solutions are gonna be very comparable. The same, cutbacks have had to be made for price. The same boosts have been made for performance. So it's like they're almost the same console for all intents and purposes. But goddamn, is that thing big? I mean, and ugly.
It's huge.
Do you like what it looks like, Cam, as the Sony guy? Because I think it looks like shit.
I mean, it doesn't look like a refrigerator.
But it does look like a router from 10 years ago.
I'm sorry, when did you become American?
I kind of hoped you weren't going to bring that up,
Or maybe an external, big, floor-to-ceiling fan. One of those things. It looks a bit like a fan as well, doesn't it? I've seen fans like that, but...
You know what? It definitely looks like something the Empire designed, to go along with their Stormtrooper armor sort of thing, But I don't know. Yeah, it's huge. Whether or not there might be some design changes with certain limited edition versions, that'd be kind of cool. But I don't know if they are going to be doing that. But looks for me on the most important thing when it comes to the console is what it brings to my life. If is the fun there, is the all the games they're going to be bringing out with it, are they going to be that awesome? I am dead excited for, Demon's Souls remake. That was one of the first big PS3 games I ever had.
I think you guys know how I feel about that. Do continue.
No, really.
It sounds like we'll have to get into this a little bit later.
I just don't get on with the Souls games, man. I've tried so many times.
Is it because you're not good at them?
I'm shit. But that's the thing, right? I'm not going to deny that, but that makes it no fun. It's not a kind of game you can muddle through. You have to be good at them, otherwise they're not fun. And I'm not good at them. So
I'm okay, I guess. I mean,
you must be better than me.
Well, that's just guaranteed at this point, isn't it? Apparently. Well, let's put it this way: if a code comes through, God willing, you can send it my way.
Absolutely.
And I'll sort it out.
No, well, if you got a PlayStation 5, yes, I would do that. I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, if a PS5 came up for pre-order now, on Amazon, and it was just available, would I go for it? And yeah, I'd go for it. Because I'm stupid.
Well, of course
I would. I just missed out on those pre-orders because it was so poorly bloody managed. Otherwise, I would have pre-ordered one. I'd have the X coming and the PS5 instead of the S as well. But it's just one of those things. But that's the thing. Even if you wanted one right now, Cam, it might be impossible to get one for launch anyway. Because it's sort of been.
That's okay. Because you're gonna laugh at this. I'm not allowed to have a PlayStation 5 yet. The whips have come out that has just gone no PS5 until we get a Nintendo Switch for her to play on.
Oh, I see.
That's a fair trade.
I see.
You know what? Yeah, I mean, if it means that I can play some Nintendo Switch games occasionally, yeah, sure, I'll be up for it. But but that means I have to at least wait for 2 paychecks to get my PS5, and I don't want to wait 2 paychecks. I want it now.
That's what credit's for, man. Just saying, brother.
I have enough credit.
I'm shite.
I have enough credit that I can't afford.
So let's
last
move
thing to go on.
On that fun note, let's move on to news.
Yeah.
It's PS5 related. How excited are you that they're going to offer online software updates to PS5 so they can optimize the fan? Oh wow, what a new story this was this week.
Are you a fan of that choice?
I mean, that's some thrilling shit, yeah? I mean, it really spun me into a tizzy. Like a fan going around.
Well, yeah.
Sorry.
On the one hand, I get, what they're going to be going for, that, certain games will need the extra power in there. Mind you, my PS4 right now sounds like it's going to be the Challenger rocket because it is going up very loud, and I'm just sort of sit there with my controller playing, but every now and then when it gets really loud, I sort of cringe a bit, waiting for it to explode. It's like,
You're doing better than me. With my Xbox Scorpio at the moment, it can't play games. The coolant gel between the heatsink and the processor has gone so much that I can play for about 20 minutes before it overheats and dies.
Me and Rob
So
we were playing Destiny 2. We were doing a heroic story mission. We were literally at the final bit of the mission, right at the very end, the boss bit, the boss mob, right? And he jumps up in the air to hit his special, and his character then freezes, falls out of the air in that frozen pose of the super being gone. And is just like the mobs are like attacking him, nothing's happening, and then he just blinks out of existence. And I'm like, my network connection or Rob? And Rob's like, no, my console just turned itself off because it got too hot.
Yeah, it wasn't even network connection. It was
what?
It was heat. I then get a little warning saying the console is designed to shut itself down if it overheats. Please make sure it has adequate ventilation and all that sort of bullshit.
Well, better than setting fire to your house. I mean, it's probably preferable.
The funny thing, I remember this glitch, not glitch. It was a horrendous like malfunction on my first PS3 I had. I don't know if you guys remember this one, but if it always thought that it was too hot and switched itself off, even though it could be in a fridge. You know, the heat sensor was just broken.
No, I don't know that one.
It was really weird. It was something along those lines. And the only way that I can get it working, strangely enough, was with a towel over it and a hairdryer blowing hot air into it.
That doesn't make much sense. Like inverted, the sensor inverted.
It
fool
did.
The heat sensor by making it hot.
It was weird. I don't. If anyone else remembers that glitch thing happening, write it down in the comment. But like, I honestly, the only way I could get it working to like back stuff up onto I think it was the save drive or something like that, and just to get it working so I can move the hard drive into another PS3 was by heating it up with a hairdryer. Weird times, man.
That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. I obviously remember using the towel trick on my Xbox 360 to bring it back to life a couple of times, which was good old times. I do remember doing that. But so basically this news story, we kind of got off topic, but the idea that you can put like software firmware updates which can affect the RPM of the fan and when the fan is utilized. I think that's smart. That's pretty cool. That, cool. See, because of the fan.
It's clever.
So hopefully this is just something we're going to... I'm going to point out all the jokes, Rob, because nothing's better than a joke until it's explained. That's when they're the funniest. Yes. I mean, that's cool, but I don't know. So we'll move on to a little bit more of PlayStation news. So PlayStation brought out this week, kind of late to the party on this, but they showed some solidarity for some individuals in the United States by bringing out their Black Lives Matter theme for PS4, which is a free theme, which has got like the Black Lives Matter logo, and repping the fact that is super important, and everyone on Experience Kills is a massive supporter of this, and we are very much in the corner of that. But of course, the 100%. Internet is a cesspool of disgusting awfulness. And wherever this story was posted, be it Facebook, on the PlayStation's official blog, Polygon, Eurogamer, Kotaku, any of their feeds, the comment sections were filled mostly with people, first of all, saying, shouldn't all lives matter? That's where it would start. And then it would just degenerate into just racism and Trumpism and, oh my God, America is beyond fucked. But like, so is kind of the world at the moment. Beyond the COVID issues, the all of this stuff, and all around a theme that you could download from. First of all, you'd have to find it on the store. It's not like it's being pre-installed on the hard drive for you by PlayStation. You have to find it on the store. It's free. You choose to use it. Like, nobody's making you use this. So why on earth are people reacting like that? It's just gross.
It's disgusting. Yeah. Like the first comment after, I think it was the first comment as soon as that was posted on the PlayStation Twitter account was some guy saying, "Well, it looks like I'm getting an Xbox."
Oh, because Xbox is the racist console now? Like, what are you talking about? Please just go and burn to death in a fire. Like, seriously.
I mean, Microsoft, I'm sure, came out in support of BLM pretty much straight away.
I believe so.
So, just because there hasn't been an Xbox theme for it, doesn't mean that they may not choose to do something similar now. I don't know. But I think it's a brilliant idea.
Do you know what would be awesome with people like that? Wouldn't it be awesome if every company came out in support of, equality and Black Lives Matter and things like that? So that person ended up having to live on the street and starve to death because they literally couldn't live without supporting a company that was for equality. I mean, that would be such perfect justice, wouldn't it? No, just me. I'm
not going to lie, I can't see many things wrong with that one.
I mean, it's just like, for God's sake. But no, well done, PlayStation. Good on you. Stick to your guns. Don't back down. You know you're doing the right thing. Don't listen to the idiots on the internet. Okay, moving on to the next one. Bit Xbox news now. Halo: The Master Chief Collection is getting an update for the Series X, and it's gonna run up to 4K. Don't like that language, but still up to 4K, variable 4K.
Up to that sounds like the internet speed jargon. You can get up to 70 megabytes, right?
But you're only getting 3.
So,
Ben knows all about that with his previous home. Okay, your speeds were terrible in your old home.
Yeah, I was paying for up to something and getting about 30 down. Yeah, it wasn't great. But no, much better now. I have to say, with my Virgin, I'm enjoying my Virgin broadband very, very quick now. But yeah, up to 4K and 120 FPS where supported, where the screens can output and show that speed and stuff. Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Impressive.
Yeah, no, definitely up to 120.
I would play in 1080 if I was getting 120 frames per second. Like being in 4K, that's cool. I have a 4K TV, out of shot, but 120 frames per second, that is going to be silky smooth.
Yeah.
It's going to be wonderful.
It's going to perform real well. I mean, whatever happens, you're going to obviously see a nice performance boost with this update that's coming to the Master Chief Collection. I'm glad they haven't forgotten about that. That was obviously a massive, important title for them, which they put a lot of time and effort into it. And a lot of people are saying, where's the Master Chief Collection on the announced, upgraded games? What's going on there? Why is that not showing up? And then, just a bit late to the party here, but, they've got there in the end, especially as we don't have Halo Infinite this year, which is still quite upsetting. But, I'm very much looking forward to that next year when we do get it, when it's ready. But, yeah, good to know they're updating that. Another one added to the list of optimized games on the Series X. I've also, in related news, I've got my first game sat on my library right now, which is the updated version of Observer, which literally will not run on anything other than a Series X, which is kind of interesting. Teasing? Yeah, it's just sat there with like a stop sign, like a circle with a line through it. Like, you can't install this. And I'm like, that's interesting, because there's not a lot of games which aren't going to run on everything, but it does mean that they can be made, they can come out, and it's not like Microsoft isn't going to allow that. So it's cool that I've got an exclusive title for my Series X, as it were, already ready to go, which is an upgrade I got on it for $4.99, because I owned the previous version of the game. So I was like, you know what, and it's going to have ray tracing, and it's kind of quite a slow game, so I'm expecting the visuals to look really good, and it's a cyberpunk aesthetic, so fingers crossed that's going to be a really nice piece to show off the power of the Series X on launch. So I look forward to testing that out as well. Moving on, briefly getting into the next bit of news. You guys excited for Assassin's Creed Valhalla?
Oh yeah. I am looking forward very much to it.
Oh yeah. It's yes and no. I've been a bit iffy with Assassin's Creed ever since they kind of changed their style a little bit. Ever since they kind of became that RPG sort of mode of like leveling up and like new weapons and stuff like that, not just like stats game that you have to play. I wasn't exactly fond of it. I think it started with Origins.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I was like, the first time I played it, I wandered into a higher level area because I didn't really understand that sort of thing. I was like, oh, cool, I'll give this a go. Straight up, like 30-foot drop onto a dude's head, stabbed him in the face, and it took off like a chunk of health. And I was like, what? What? Are you serious? After playing maybe 5 games of being able to basically one-shot people with a cool-ass assassination, or counterattack someone and kill them in a really cool way, it changed, and I was like, what the hell? Why has this changed? And it really put me off. However, now I've actually gotten back into it, and I'm thinking I kind of changed my mindset, because I'll be honest, I was running out of a lot of things to play. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go back to Origins. I'm going to give it another go. I am enjoying it now, but I'm just like, I don't know if I want to continue on playing it if it's, in that sort of style. However, Valhalla I am excited for, because I have almost a borderline obsession with Vikings.
Yes.
Christ, got my hair in a ponytail. I might as well go for full Viking and shave my head now. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Vikings series, and that was absolutely brilliant. And then with the new expansions heading over to like Paris, I remember how that looked on the TV series. I'm just like, this is going to look brilliant on the generation we're going to play on. Can't wait for it. Really can't.
So
See-
I see where you're coming from, but they made like 7 or 8 games like that. So if there's a game, if you want to play that game, you've got options, a lot of options. I think it's actually maybe
There
8
are
or
only so many
9. I
times
just
you
did a
can
rough
replay
count
that
of it.
game, though.
Sorry?
There are only so many times you can play a game like that, though.
Mm.
I kind of don't view the modern Assassin's Creed games as Assassin's Creed games. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't view them as the same sort of game that Altair and Ezio presented to us. They're now more a Ubisoft historical RPG. It just has an Assassin's Creed type theme in it.
Yeah.
It has a Assassin's Creed logo and maybe an apple thrown in here or there.
Yeah.
No, they don't do a lot with the. Oh no, I guess they still do a fair bit of stuff with the objects of power. Now I think about it, but it's much more like a backseat element, as is the future stuff and or the present day stuff, which then combines with the historical stuff. It's nowhere near as prevalent as it used to be. I personally still really enjoy all that stuff, like with the connection with the present day or / future stuff, because I don't know, I find corny sci-fi really enjoyable, and the fact that it's mashed into this historical epic setting as well just makes it feel quite unique. And I've always loved that about the Assassin's Creed games. Weirdly, with Origins, Cam, I kind of bounced off Origins. I played it more maybe than you did, but I didn't finish it. Odyssey, however, is one of my favourite games of the generation. I think Odyssey is a fantastic game, which is the one that came after Origins. And this one, Valhalla, man, like, goddamn, it looks so incredible, those visuals. And now the DLC, which is going to be the first bit, which is going to be an island. So they're going to really explore the Celtic connection and how they come up against the Vikings, and it's going to look quite spooky and dark and mysterious, and shamanic, and like witches and things like that. And then like you said, the Siege of Paris, which is this huge thing that really happened with Vikings, and that's going to be epic, isn't it? I mean, come on, it's going to be epic. So Odyssey's DLC was amazing. So.
Yeah, because that's what I loved about the original Assassin's Creed, is that there was, it was a historically as accurate as you can get, I guess, when you're playing a sci-fi video game. But like, you're interacting with like real world people.
Yeah.
When you're in Black Flag, you're dealing with Blackbeard and everything as well, who are all real people, and obviously Paris in this time, and there could be some very real historical people in there as well that you might be able to come across, and that's what I liked about Assassin's Creed. And strangely enough, I liked the the proto-human kind of storyline with these with the apples of Eden and stuff there. That's what made it Assassin's Creed to me. Not just the assassinating, strangely enough, assassinations. That mystical side of it was really awesome. And if they're going to kind of emphasize some of the more spooky bits with like Irish culture, witches and stuff like that, and it turns out to be, using some sort of artifact, then that could really get me going. I really enjoy that how they tie it together.
Yeah, no, exactly. I couldn't agree more. I could wax lyrical about that franchise of games for quite some time. We could do a whole special podcast just talking about Assassin's Creed and breaking down the whole franchise from the first, all the way from Altair right all the way through to Cassandra, and now our new Viking protagonist. And I've loved how that ties it in, and it connects it to history, and it's still fantastical, and it's still sci-fi, and it's such a unique blend. And I think in a couple of episodes ago, Cam, as well, we mentioned how they announced for Watch Dogs, one of the DLC big things for Watch Dogs is going to be assassins showing up, which is going to connect the franchises properly, rather than just an Easter egg. But for the first time, they're going to have a female modern day assassin from the Assassin's Creed kind of group showing up in Watch Dogs, which is proper exciting to me as well. I'm like, I can't wait to see how they handle finally officially bringing those two universes together. I think that should be exciting. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I can't wait to play Valhalla. Can't wait.
That sounds really cool, because there was already like a fan theory of the Far Cry games, namely like 3 and onwards. You've got that kind of what's it called? You look down like the binoculars and you kind of mark your targets and see how they're walking, sort of thing. They're actually a fan theory that person you're playing as in those games actually has some sort of eagle vision.
Oh, really?
Because they're both Ubisoft games, weren't they? And it was sort of like
I think
see where they're kind of coming from.
Sure,
but...
I think Ubisoft wants to connect things up, so like, why not? I mean, they could I mean, Far Cry is a series of games actually I think really needs to find its feet again. The last couple have been very underwhelming to me. But you know, there's a 6 coming at the start of next year. So I'll be interested to see what they do with it. But yeah, let's move on to another news story though. 2K Games once again, 2K with their monetization shit, which is always their thing, and they've gone and put more unskippable in-game advertising into NBA 2K1. And I believe they did this a few months ago or something. And wasn't there like a big outcry? Oh no, was it the UFC game, EA, that did this? And then they pulled it out because everybody was like, what the fuck are you doing? And now 2K's done it with unskippable ads as well. And it's just like, guys, come on. Don't be forcing adverts in gamers' faces like this. It's just... They're gonna, you know, they're already pissed off with you because, man, those 2K basketball games have been monetized up the wazoo for a few years now with their microtransactions and the DLC, the way that the loot boxes work, and everything's VC currency and everything, even in the wrestling games they put out, it's terrible. But now to see them, you know, putting these unskippable ads in there as well, oof, it's just not good. It's not a mobile game, is it? You kind of, when you're playing a free-to-play mobile game and you get an unskippable ad, you're kind of like, all right, it's free. But like, you've just paid 60 quid for this bloody basketball game. It's not right, is it? It doesn't make sense.
If they were comedy ads that added to like a storyline in the game or something like that, some sort of gimmicky bit, fine. Sign me up for it, like story catch-ups, whatever. But for actual just ads, no, come on, as I fail to sit in my own chair, apparently. Oh, I'm not going to be able to get that.
That was a chair fail and a half there from Rob, my word. He got kind of assaulted by his cat and then almost fell out of his chair. That was good. That was good. We might have let you just roll with that if you hadn't drawn attention to it, you know. Like, just saying.
You were laughing too much. I know, but full price game getting ads, get rid of it. Not interested.
It's not good. Absolutely. Did you guys let's move on to some, we'll end the news segment on a couple of positive stories. Did you guys watch this trailer that I put in the news story? And it's not something I would normally put in the news rundown. I only mention it because I've been playing some of these live action kind of, FMV does them a bit of a disservice, but they're more like interactive movie games that have been coming out recently, and Wales Interactive is quite a famous one for producing these. They did The Bunker, they did The Complex, they did Late Shift, and they've just put a new one out for their take on a romantic comedy interactive movie game thing. Did you watch the trailer? Did you guys watch it?
I did watch it, yeah.
What did you think? What did you think of this thing?
It's interesting. I'm a fan of that kind of some of those games. I had a little pop at Man of Medean at one point at a friend's house. I did Until Dawn and those kind of FMV games.
They're not the same. I mean, those are still 3D characters. I'm literally talking about like films that you make decisions in. Yeah.
There was a game that came out. I don't know if you saw it. Called Erica.
Yes, Erica. I played it. I got it on PlayStation. Yeah. I gave it a go.
Yeah. And that was a full FMV game as well, and that was done really well. Me and my partner are actually playing it together, where we both work together and make some decisions about what we want to do. And it's an interesting concept, I grew up kind of reading books that have like you can choose what you want to happen in some of those books and stuff as well. So the kind of decision making format has been really kind of ingrained into me at a young age.
Yeah.
With storytelling, and you feel more. I think you feel more. What's the word?
Connected.
Oh, I've lost my word. Yeah, I guess that'll be the word you can use. More connected, more invested in the characters you play as and stuff, and the story itself. So yeah, I can understand where this
one is called
Five. Will I play it though?
5 dates, right? 5 dates, and it's the reason I kind of wanted to mention it was clearly this has been made during lockdown, right? So how do you make a game like this during lockdown? You do everything from a webcam's perspective, right? So it's all kind of online dating. I don't know about you though, but watching that trailer, I just felt like it was really voyeuristic, and it just felt like I was creeping on this guy's dating attempts with these women. And then especially when it's like he's getting successful with them, and it was just like, and they were like, oh yeah, you're a player, aren't you? You're a big boy. And it was just like, oh, this is crossing some weird lines here. I'm not this isn't right. This is weird. Like, I don't know about this.
It did start to get a bit cringe, didn't
It
it?
got really creepy. Like, where I've played
Yeah.
Late Shift, and that's like an action movie spy thriller, and I played Complex, and that's like a sci-fi Contagion-esque thing, and that was quite cool. And then Bunker, it's post-apocalyptic, and you know, those are all quite, you know, high concept and removed. This just felt like, what would it be like if you were doing online dating during lockdown? Well, I mean, if I needed to do that, I would just do it, wouldn't I? I mean, that'd be what I'd be. That's life. That's not. This just felt a bit like I just hacked someone's account and I was just watching his shit.
There's a lot of lonely people out there during lockdown, Ben. That's all I'm saying.
I'm okay. I'm good. I'm happily married. Thank you. But yeah, it was. I don't know, Rob. Did you watch it? What did you think? As a man dating right now, how did you?
Indeed.
Yeah.
I am not the one tied down here at the moment. Yeah, I am.
Nor do I see you being tied down with a sword like that in the background.
No, it's Aragorn's sword from Lord of the Rings. I have his curved dagger elsewhere.
And there went all those date
cabinet
prospects out the
nerd.
window when they heard him talk about Lord of the Rings. But that's fine. Don't worry.
Bye. Would you like to review 5 dates next?
No. I think this one is going in my skip pile. I did not watch the trailer. It made me want to go and run a mile. These aren't my sort of genre of games anyway, and this one just looked painful. And I was like, do you know what? No. No.
The biggest problem for me was it's being promoted as a rom-com, and yet it really wasn't funny. It was just sort of like, this guy's just not good at dating. He's just not good at dating. But when he's making the bad decisions, but when he's making good decisions, they're all like getting a bit hot on the collar. They're getting a bit excited, and you're like, this is weird. I do not like.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip this one, I think.
Okay, moving on to the final news story.
Interesting idea, that's all we can say.
Moving on to the final news story, which I think is a pretty awesome story to end on today, I think, guys, right? So, you guys all know who ACO is, yeah? Do we need to explain to the people who ACO is? Now, she's become this kind of... It's almost...
It's AOC, I think, isn't it?
AOC, yeah, God, I can't read. I'm sorry, I'm tired. It's AOC, yes. God, dear. I put my foot in it there, didn't I? AOC. And she's almost become this mythologized political figure in America, hasn't she? She's almost like the last bastion of democratic sanity that's coming out of the United States.
Like a people's champion.
Yeah, like a people's champion. Yeah, she seems to be speaking from the perspective of and to the normal person. You know, she's not an extreme leftist, she's not an extreme rightist, she's not like a fascist, and she's not a socialist. She's just sort of a decent human being looking out for other decent human beings. And she has started streaming on Twitch. And she is a congresswoman, or is she senator? I can't remember. She's one of those.
I know she's usually referred to as representatives, but I'm not 100% sure when it comes to American politics, I'm afraid.
That's okay. No, I probably should remember this as well. But like I said, very tired. But no, the cool thing here is that, you know, she used this platform. She used her popularity. She went onto Twitch. She got over 400,000 concurrent views, one of the highest ever concurrent view counts on Twitch at any one time, to play some silly video games, yes, but also to, you know, bring up important messages about getting out and voting in the next couple of weeks, which is obviously a hugely important thing in the United States right now. They've got their big election coming up. This is going to decide whether or not we get another 4 years of Trump. And let's be honest, it's important to Americans. It's also important to the rest of us if we get another 4 years of Trump. And it's one of those situations where you kind of wish you could have more impact on this decision. But obviously we don't get to vote in the American elections because we are not American, as if I had to spell that out. But no, the fact that she's using Twitch, she seems to be one of the few people in politics, you know, young enough to understand it, to understand the impact of it. Hey, look, one of her researchers may have come and told her to do this. One of her people might have instructed her that this was a good idea. Sure. But she still did it. And she still comes across as approachable, relatable, pretty funny. She plays Twitch like many, you know, plays games on Twitch like many streamers do. You know, it came across pretty damn natural what I saw of it. And I think, is this the future of politics? Is this how do we think we can maybe see some change happening? How these politicians these younger, more vital, more in touch politicians might connect with that younger voter base and get them out to vote and actually make change? Is that what we might be seeing here?
When you put it like that, and you think of politicians being on Twitch, I can only kind of imagine Trump acting like a 14-year-old kid on Call of Duty. He's clearly slept with my mother at this point. I should go kill myself, etc. That kind of smack talk that he'd bring to the table. That's the only kind of when I think politicians playing video games, it's just
Trump would be the kind of gamer
that
that only played Call of Duty and Madden/FIFA. They're the only two games he'd bought every year, and that would be all he'd play. He's not going to be playing Among Us, is he?
He'd make a point to teabag you after every kill as well.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, to the detriment of his own team. He'd only get 3 kills in a match because he'd try and spend all the time teabagging the people he did kill. I mean, that's
everyone who teabagged him, he would report.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Yep.
That toxic gameplay behavior. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
I think
done.
that's nailed it. But I mean, let's not think about Trump. Let's think about, do we see this? Is this going to start happening with more? Not every politician is nearly dead, right? There are younger ones out there.
Well, she's doing better than what Hillary did during her campaign. She's talked about making people who play Pokemon Go to get them to the polls, catch a Pikachu, and maybe do a vote sort of thing. And coming from someone of her age, it was just, oh, Hillary, stop! No,
it's not cool. Not cool. Not cool.
You should not be saying the word Pikachu. Stop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This is the first time I've seen anything like this. First time I've seen anything like outreach like this, where it's felt genuine. Where it's felt like this person's actually having fun and they actually think this is a good way to do things and it was their idea and they want to do it. And it's not just somebody's come to her and said, we think you need to talk about Pokemon because everybody's talking about Pokemon, So I think that's really positive. I'm excited to see. I hope she carries on streaming, but to be honest, she seems pretty good at it.
Yeah, I very much hope something like this does continue. I think with a character like AOC, I think she does really well. So I reckon she should carry on. Clearly the stream went well. I think they peaked at 400,000 people watching.
I think it was 430,000, 36, 30 something thousand. Yeah, huge amount of people. Like I said, one of the highest concurrent view counts ever on Twitch. I think it's in the top 3 or 5 of all time for that, which is pretty cool. I still can't get over the fact that I called her ACO. I feel terrible. That's ridiculous. I've known it was AOC. She's been on the scene now for years. I knew this.
Yes,
we're not angry, Ben. We're just disappointed.
We were talking about Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Origins earlier. So,
you're gonna let me off, Cam? Oh, I do appreciate. Thank you.
You will. I won't.
Appreciate that, mate. I appreciate
the thing is that AOC, she's great. The way I've kind of I had a quick look for us. She's a representative of the House of Representatives, which is kind of like what the House of Commons is. And senators are like the House of Lords in the UK.
Thank you for doing the research, so we don't sound completely useless. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. But the sad thing for me is that she is 31 years old, and she has accomplished so much more in her life than me, and I'm not even 30 yet. And I'm
28.
I was like, oh
31. No, look, some passionate, intelligent, driven, and caring man.
With
much
people,
respect.
Good honor.
Yeah. Much respect.
She's the kind of senator. She's kind of representative who could actually post a meme on her Twitter page and it won't be cringy.
Yeah, no, she'll get it. She knows what she's doing. Yeah, and it's like, you know what? Fingers cross one day maybe president. Yeah, that'd be all right, wouldn't it, guys? I mean, be better when we got So
that's not hard.
Yeah, it's a low bar. Anyway, we've already just lost anytime we talk about politics, we lose subscribers. I'm not even kidding. And to be honest, when that happens, God, the amount of stuff we got for that comment you made about Trump on that Hunt Showdown video review we did, Cam, me and you. Oh, we got so much. I had to delete so many comments. You have no idea. I was in that comment section just deleting and blocking and deleting and blocking. It was like so much hate. But at the same time, Cam, that's how we feel, and I'm never going to flip and hide it. And if you don't want to sub to us because of, we're not scumbag racists, then do you know what? We don't need you. See you later. Yeah. Have a good one. So that's fine.
Your blonde what's-face president, yeah.
Right, I want to move on to this fun topic that Cam came up with. because I think this is a fun one, and I don't think we've ever kind of it's not as focused on next gen stuff as we have been doing, but hey, it's Cam's first show back. We wanted to do something for Cam, so we are going to talk about video game movies, and Rob is not the most knowledgeable on this, so I think we need to convince Rob to watch some movies, Cam, for self-flagellation reasons, and also for enjoyment, genuine enjoyment reasons, because there's some good stuff on here as well as the terrible stuff. But so where did you want to start, Cam? Because you kind of wanted to break it down a bit. Like, what makes them work? You were thinking about why don't they succeed? You sort of posed to me as well, and what might we see in the future about ones that maybe could learn from that about how they can succeed? Because we've had a decent crop of late, haven't we? We haven't had the same level of shit that we've seen from like Uwe Boll in the years previous, like the Far Cry movie, which literally made me want to tear my own eyeballs out and stuff.
Oh god, that was
really, really bad. But yeah, we're seeing some okay stuff like Detective Pikachu, Sonic the Hedgehog. I've not seen it, but I've heard it's pretty good. Like, it's meant to be a decent movie.
Strangely enough, Sonic the Hedgehog has only been good right now, only because they finally went back and they changed his character design. Okay, yes. The first release was awful. If they came out with that as the original film, my god, I would have stormed out of the cinema. I was looking at it and just going like, what the is that? You know? The human teeth, you know, he is like a comic book character. He needs to have that kind of big eyes and big hands sort of thing. But it was like, oh god, no. He should have shot it in the shed.
It was like a little child had been like mutated into a hedgehog creature, is what it looked like.
Yeah.
Like it was like some horrible science experiment gone wrong, wasn't it? Like inside he's screaming all the time. Just like, that's what it kind of looked like.
Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of get you guys' view on, like, you know, what kind of makes or breaks a film, what makes it bad, what makes it good, especially. For example, obviously, like, I think the king of all kind of bad films is, for me, it's Super Mario Brothers. I love to hate it.
Interesting, that movie. That was the first one. You know, that was the first one, right?
First video game movie.
It was, officially, yeah.
It's such a cult film, though, and in this day and age, very memeable. Yeah. But like, as soon as, like, you know, it's like when Dennis Hopper had that weird long forked tongue, I was done.
But it's a weird film. It's strange because it misses in so many ways, but it also hits, and it's also really fucking gutsy. Like, the direction they took. I mean, clearly they were like, we want to make a real film, but we want to have it inspired by Super Mario Bros. And obviously, you know, Super Mario Bros. As it is isn't going to work. So let's make it gritty. Let's make it real. Let's, you know, put it into a reality that people can understand. And it goes places. Like, it's a very strange film, but it's better now. I think you watch it now with the, you know, with the genre as it is now, much more fleshed out, and you look back at it and you go, I can see what you were trying to do. It's just, you kind of missed all the fun that is Mario, you know? And you just make it miserable. So
the thing is, like, it's not as if it was like filled with bad actors or anything. No. Dennis Hopper, Bob Hoskins, John Leguizamo, you know, they were all great people. But, you know, after a thorough bit of research, it does turn out that Bob Hoskins and John there were pretty much getting drunk every night to forget for their sorrows, because they knew that it was going to be a terrible film.
Yeah, I believe that's famous. It's well known, isn't it? They were, you know, just they knew how bad it was when they were making it.
All the time. But the thing is, though, I think one of the big things that can break a film is just straying too far from the original source content. You know, the original source of, like you said, Super Mario. It's a light, it's a fun, woohoo game. You know, and then to have, you know, this gritty Dennis Hopper as Bowser sort of thing going on, but that again, that tongue gives me nightmares.
It's really
I've
tough.
Not seen this.
You will.
I don't think I want to.
You will.
Do you know what? I think I'm all right.
So all the ones I put on this shortlist, I have a fondness for, but I can appreciate that they're not all good, but they're all there for a reason. And I think what you said there about straying from the source material, it's really tough, because the source material you've got is an interactive form of entertainment that already exists, right? So a consumer can go and play it. So why would you just film it again? like film the story of the game. There's literally nothing creative or worthwhile for a director or a writer or an actor to engage with there. So why would they even be interested in that project? That was definitely how things was seen around these movies in the past. Now, of late, we saw one movie stands out to me as a very faithful adaptation, but it's also a very boring movie, which is the newest Tomb Raider movie. Now, that is a direct lift, basically, of the first game, the remake game, the newest game series. Yeah, the reboot from Crystal Dynamics and Square Enix. The games are very, very good, yeah. But the film was just like, why? Why bother? Like, why am I even here for this? Because
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? It's like, I've experienced all this already, and it was way more entertaining as interactive fiction and gameplay than it was to watch. And it's not a bad movie. It's well made, good cast. Alicia Vikander, Walter Goggins, you know, some really good character actors in there and stuff who've proven their mettle in other things. Decent direction, good action scenes, but it just did nothing. It added nothing to it. So I was just left cold by it.
Yeah, the thing I found weird about it is like the way they've made this new, the first game that came out of the reboot, is that she was a younger Lara, she was more vulnerable, she wasn't like fending off an army straight away, unlike, the original games where you're double desert eagling a T-Rex in the face. I see you both sort of going, yeah, that was fun.
And created, and by the way, off the back of that, made some really entertaining movies with Angelina Jolie.
Yes.
I mean,
I enjoyed those Tomb Raider movies.
I think, well, you would do. I mean, we were teenagers when they came out. Straight. So yeah.
Fond memories, shall we say? Fond memories.
Oh yeah.
They were shitty action flicks. They were amazing.
Yeah.
Nothing else mattered.
I'll never forget her fighting a robot in her manor house for some reason. Because robots are cool.
I wanted a manor house with a robot in it that I could fight after watching that movie.
Do you remember Chris Barry as the butler? Rimmer from Red Dwarf.
Barry,
how good is that?
I would sign up for that.
But what I was going to say is that I found the new film with Alicia Vikander in it is that she seemed like she was a lot tougher than this vulnerable character that we've just been introduced to in the video game world,
perhaps.
And that's the way I kind of viewed it. She was transformed into this kind of action heroine, but it's not as if she was. What was she doing? She was like parkour biking around London at one point, or however you call it, freestyle biking, whatever it is. She was pretty handy with weapons as soon as she got her hands on them, sort of thing. But with the video game Lara, she was broken, bruised, battered, and completely vulnerable. And it was like, are you trying to make a faithful adaptation, or is this gone too far the other way?
That's brilliant. You're talking about another problem with these, aren't you? The other problem is with a game, you have like 20 hours with that character, with story beats, with gameplay. In a film, you have 2, right? So you have to condense all of that characterization and plot and story and themes massively, which is why we see, I think, a lot of the problems that we get with video game movies, because they're not inherently something that can be made easily in a 2-hour film experience. A lot of them would lend themselves much better to TV shows, but there's often not that budget, not that commitment that's wanted to put behind them. So I think that's another problem you see. I think that's obviously what they wanted to do with Tomb Raider there was, I think, start with some vulnerability, but quick, fast forward, make her capable, because otherwise it's boring. She needs to be an awesome badass, otherwise, what do people want to watch? They want to watch her falling off if I remember playing that Tomb Raider game, falling off a cliff, getting impaled by a tree branch 14 times in a row and sort of screaming in pain every time she did it. That's not something you're going to want to watch in a film, is it? But that was the game. So it's kind of like, that's a bit of a problem there.
I did watch the first 2 Hostel films, and that was pretty much that. Yeah,
fair
14
enough.
times.
Yeah, can't argue
but,
with that.
You say that about time, I think that was one of the main things that my gripe against the Assassin's Creed film was that.
Okay, I wanted to talk about this, yeah.
I feel like there's too much lore in the Assassin's Creed world that wasn't, explained enough in the movie. The action, as a bit of a film buff, and I liked looking at behind the scenes stuff as well. The Assassin's Creed's action scenes were fantastic, and a lot of it was all done with practical effects, which I loved, I adored. Even like that, I think they actually set a world record for the highest free fall, which is the full. Leap of faith he does, which was like a 60, 70 foot drop onto an airbag.
Wow.
And that was, yeah, exactly. You read that first time, you go, really? Whoa! Like, and there's no wiring, no nothing whatsoever.
It's insane.
Exactly, yeah. And that's that kind of dedication that I like
Mm-hmm.
to see in a film. All the free running was really exciting.
So I
but
think
then it was just like,
so. I just want to say, I think Ubisoft did something really gutsy with that Assassin's Creed movie. First of all, they got a really quality cast, right? So you got Marion Cotillard, you got Michael Fassbender. When he was Fassbender was at his peak then as well. Like he was in so many huge movies. He was absolutely everywhere. I don't know really what happened to him because he's kind of disappeared since, you know, not a few years now, and we haven't really seen anything from him. But back then he was absolutely massive, and you got these big names. You got a really good director as well. I can't remember the director off my top of my head. If somebody wants to look it up, that'd be brilliant. But basically, what they did with that movie was they assumed a level of knowledge that the audience would be bringing in with them. They assumed that if you're watching this movie, you get enough from the movie, but most people are going to probably have played some Assassin's Creed games, or at least be a little bit familiar with it, because the film is actually in canon within the game universe. It's actually referenced in Odyssey and Origins. If you look through like their laptops of Layla in the present day, she actually talks about that particular Animus experiment, because obviously it's a different type of Animus, and she talks about that assassin that he goes back to, and they talk about the experiments that were done with Fassbender's character, and it's therefore canonized within it. It's not trying to retell the Assassin's Creed universe, it's adding its own chapter to it, which I think is really cool.
I didn't know that, and that is brilliant.
Yeah,
absolutely amazing.
See, that's gutsy, isn't it? That's super gutsy, because it's like you're expecting people, you know, to have gone into that, know what's going on. Otherwise, you're just going to be a bit lost. And I think that was the problem. That's why it didn't do that well, because a lot of people were like, "What the actual fuck is going on?" Because why is he there and then he's there, and like, who is that, and how are they connected? And it's sort of explained, but not.
The way you bring it up is like as if. The way I'm trying to kind of put the view across is across fresh audience members who may not play video games, but are like, oh, this is like a good action flick, you know? And they go, yeah, exactly. What the hell is going on? But at the same time, though, I think it was very close and a loyal enough telling for gamers and stuff like that. But I like to look at the movies as if I'm fresh to the genre, and you know, like my dad hasn't played the new Tomb Raider video games, but he'll watch a young woman in distress for 2 hours. In an action film,
the creepiest thing.
I was about to say,
in an action film.
Stay away from Cam's dad.
Stay away from my whole family. If you know what's good for you.
Was that a threat?
He enjoyed. You damn right. I'll come up to Cambridge. I'll kick your ass.
Lucky I don't live there anymore.
But no, I mean, like he watched the Tomb Raider film, and like he knew vaguely of Tomb Raider. The games came out in like the 90s, and he wasn't a big gamer, but he knew of enough, you know. But he enjoyed the new film though, and like to a new audience, that's great. But was Assassin's Creed film, was that fresh enough for a fresh audience, or was it tailored mainly to gamers? That's the thing.
So yeah, that's why it was. I think it was the latter, and because I remember watching it for the first time, expecting an adaptation, and being quite lost. And like, well, where's Desmond? Where's Ezio? Where are the characters I'm expecting? And it's like, it took me a while to catch. And I've seen it again since, now knowing about, you know, where it fits into the lore, how it's canonized, its chapter, and understanding that more. It's far better on a subsequent viewing when I'm not just like, yeah, but I want to see the things I recognize, because that's kind of what you go into for, yeah. But yeah, exactly. And it was. I think it's a really cool movie, and it's stunning. Like, it's visually like incredible to watch. Like, really, 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 really visually interesting to watch. It's been on
my list to watch for ages.
I think you should check it out. Yeah, you should definitely check it out. Another one that's really interesting, I think, visually, though a fairly big departure from its source. You guys seen the Max Payne movie?
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a Wahlberg joint. This is a Wahlberg joint when he was putting out about 12 films a year. He seemed to be in everything. I mean, the story of Max Payne is this crime noir really gritty, you know, the game that I'm talking about anyway, really gritty, violent, you know, bullet time in video games for the first time. It's about drug addicts. It's about his family being murdered and like basically butchered in his home. It's about this horrible conspiracy about this drug Valkyrie, which is just ravaging this noirish city. And those elements are kind of in there. That is until he starts to see angels. And they kind of basically go down this route of, yeah, Valkyrie's also kind of a supernatural thing that seems to like bring angels into the world. I'm not sure exactly what happens in that movie, but it certainly takes a turn away from crime noir.
Then the angels, as you're calling them, they are Valkyries.
Yeah, sure, but like whatever. At the same time,
they're hallucinating Valkyries to take them. That's the weird thing.
Yeah, but that's not in the game, bruh.
You need to watch the game before you make comments. Yeah, I know.
That's not in the game.
That's not.
Sounds really, really weird.
But this is the thing where they're trying to make it visually more interesting, aren't they? And they're trying to set it apart and like appeal to a wider audience and do all those things we've talked about. And it ends up just becoming kind of confusing and weird. Yeah, it's like I just want to jump around and dual wield guns and shoot things. That's all I want to see in that movie. Like, really, that's Max Payne to me.
If you want to, if you want to just jump around and shoot things in a movie, what better than that first-person segment from Doom?
I love this movie. Right, the Doom movie with Carl Urban and like probably one of the very first Dwayne The Rock Johnson performances.
No. This is before he even used his actual name.
Just The Rock.
Credited as The Rock, not
Incredible.
even Dwayne The Rock.
Just The Rock.
Just
so this
The
is
Rock.
like super early, right? I think this film, I just really like it. It's cheap, it's dirty. I've got a soft spot for Carl Urban. I like him. He's incredible in The Boys now, but he's been around making great movies for a while.
No, just finished second.
Yeah, we all have. It's insanely good. But this playing the role of Reaper. I mean, you've got all these Marines in this. Like, it's so far from the game. There's like almost nothing of the game in this, but like it's still wildly entertaining. And then they have the first person sequence, and then you get some like nods to at least the creature design from Doom 3. And you know, there are some connective tissues there, but so much of it is different. Especially the fact that we're not dealing with demons, but we're dealing with a mutated alien virus that makes people turn into these creatures. And it's like, wow, they just threw out all of the kind of high concept stuff from the video games and just made it up as they went along. But I still watch that movie when it's on TV. I really like that movie.
I think the only continuing thing that I can see is that it's set on Mars, and that's about it.
Well, not even.
There's
I mean,
nothing
like,
to do with hell.
Some of it's on Mars, but quite a lot of it ends up on Earth as well. So, yeah, it's. I
don't know. Is it?
They transport back
on Mars,
for the big final fight. They're back on Earth before they go up the elevator. Yeah. I've seen this film a lot. I've seen this film probably a dozen times.
I can tell.
Like, I kid you not, I've probably seen this film a dozen times.
Defend this film so harshly, Christ.
I love it. I love it.
Going to start throwing stuff at me. I've not seen it.
You've got to remember, that's okay. I mean, I wouldn't expect anybody except a Doom superfan like myself to like have watched this movie 12 times or whatever that I've done. But no, I really.
There are some parts in there you do enjoy, yeah.
That first person sequence.
BFG.
Oh yeah, there's so many good moments in it, and it's just I'm a big fan of just military SF as a genre, and I think it does a military SF portrayal well. I think it does Space Marines and future guns and monsters and aliens and all that shit. I think it does that well. And there's actually, I'll just touch upon it. There's a straight to video one that came out like last year, Doom Annihilation, which is again cheap and have you seen it? I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was alright. I've only seen it once, so I haven't seen it 12 times yet, but. You didn't rate that one. You didn't rate that one. Fair enough.
I didn't enjoy that one. No, I'm sorry. I just couldn't do it.
Before
I've seen none of these movies. Like none. A single one that has been talked about. I've seen.
Mate, you need to get on this. Right?
I've seen Detective Pikachu. I've seen Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, but that was so memorable I forgot everything about it.
That is a very mediocre movie. That is a very mediocre movie.
Yes.
It was a Disney film, as far as I recall. And
they did it and killed it.
They really did.
Jake Gyllenhaal, Gemma Arterton, Ben Kingsley. Like, what the fuck were you guys doing when you signed on for that?
This is that sort of time where Gemma Arterton was in like every film as well at one point in that sort of time as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But the thing is, as much as I wanted to, I mean, obviously, sidestepping the entire like whitewashing of the entire acting cast for a Persian
Prince
film,
of Persia.
there were some enjoyable bits, but obviously, kind of the whole kind of point of like the dagger being taken and everything was the sands were to be unleashed, and like that was kind of like the end big bad to fight against kind of thing, you know. And like I was expecting more kind of the demon fighting and evading, and then like a cool action sequence using time travel sort of thing, rather than a MacGuffin,
Do you know what? You know what that movie is, don't you? It's basically the video game adaptation version of the Clash of the Titans remake with Sam Worthington, and it's about as memorable as that movie is. Like they are just so like mediocre
movies.
Yeah, but that's fine. But they're all enjoyable. You can switch off and put them on a Saturday afternoon or whatever, and be like,
release
okay.
the Kraken.
Yeah, I watched like National Treasure, Clash of the Titans remake.
Liam Neeson.
You know. Why not?
National Treasure. Now we're talking about good movies.
No, I mean,
finally.
they're terrible movies.
I'm going to escalate it.
I mean, that's kind of like...
I've got to ask, have you not seen any of like the Resident Evil films then, Rob?
They were ones I didn't get to. I've seen the Resident Evil films, which are fine.
They're very good fun. I would watch those. I would watch all of those.
6.
I like those.
I've not played the vast majority of the games that go with them. So... I understand, obviously, the franchise and Resident Evil. I understand Raccoon City.
I'm going to put something out here, guys. Okay, I think the Resident Evil movies are way, way, way more enjoyable than the fucking video games. Like, I would much rather watch those films than play those games. I'm just saying, like those games are survival horror and they're miserable and stressful. But those films you put on and you just get popcorn, action, plot bullshit, like clones, sci-fi, monster crap. It's so freaking ridiculous. I love it. I think that dudes in rubber suits looking terrible. I mean, it's just B-movie garbage, and I just super enjoyable.
The thing is, I enjoyed them. I'm a big fan of Mila Jovovich, even though a lot of people don't like her, some of her acting, but like I liked her in the films. It's when there's some changes that try and go with the video game world that they haven't explained in the movie. So obviously 1, 2, and 3 were like all zombies basically, which is great. I think they did the Nemesis really well in the second film.
Stars.
But then like Resident Evil 4, which is by far one of my favorite Resident Evil games that ever came out. Because it kind of towed that line between that survival horror and then like the 5th game, it became a bit too action horror, you know?
Sure. I mean, I probably my favorite one is probably 4. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's a nice change.
But they never really did 4 as a film though, did they? They never really kind of took it that way.
That's the thing though, like because they changed the way, obviously, the creatures are what they are. You know, you had the Las Plagas parasite.
Yep.
And then the weird thing is, like, some of the creatures that you meet in, like, the later on films they have mutations that are happening because of the Las Plagas parasite that would be in the game, but it hasn't been explained in the film. You know? Some of them have, like, weird, like tentacle monster kind of coming out of their mouth and latching on, stuff like that. That's a later game.
I think you're overthinking it, buddy. Those films don't even try to pretend to make sense. Like they don't even like. There's no artifice of logic.
Heads just split apart.
It just looks.
That was when I was like, do you know what? I'm alright.
I think they just look cool.
Again, the dog heads, the splitting apart and having the creatures still acting. That's a late game thing. I was like, when do they go from zombies to suddenly this new version? Like, what? How? When? What happened? And it just wasn't really explained. I know it's so nitpicky for me because but it's a video game film, and it's the sort of thing that I pick up on. And I was like, wait, that's not from Resident Evil 1, 2, or 3. That's a Resident Evil 5 thing. What? And like the big, like they had one of the films had the big flying like monster that had its fights. I think it might have been the 3rd film, possibly. And that's from like number 5.
Yeah, like, you're too deep. You're too deep. You're too deep. Just pull out. Deep. Pull out. I've been
playing the Resident Evil 2 remake recently, and that's just got me into like the whole Resident Evil phase again. So yeah, next paycheck I'm getting number 3 again, and I might just hide for a bit, just sink down while you guys talk about like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat or something. Just hide a bit.
Why are you hiding? Why are you hiding? The Mortal Kombat movie is possibly the best video game adaptation ever made.
This is just how far
Not seen
deep
that
I've
one.
sunk into Resident Evil, so I'm just gonna
Just pull out, Cam. Just pull out. Just get out of there, mate. Just get out. It's fine. Just pull out.
For me, pinnacle of video game movies has been Detective Pikachu.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't say Street Fighter with Kylie Minogue.
No, I've not seen that one. I don't.
And
think I
Jean-Claude
want
Van
to.
Damme. Yeah, it's an incredible
Oh
film.
yeah. Actually, that it's if you're ever just like about video games, it's one of those films you need to watch because it is a cult classic.
Oh, it's so much fun. But the Mortal Kombat movie is better. But yeah, I mean, Detective Pikachu, right? Okay, right. The one I don't really get in any way, but I've seen it, and Ryan Reynolds is fine. And he's good. I'm quite looking forward to him in this sort of video game movie that's coming out that isn't a video game movie. What's it called?
Free
Guy. Free Guy.
Yeah.
Where he plays an NPC in an open world MMO shooter type GTA place, and he realizes he's a computer character, and he's just like, and they're going to turn off the game. He's like, I've got to save the universe, and it's like, that sounds insane, and I'll watch that. That looks great. But in Detective Pikachu, what can I tell you about that? I thought the effects of the Pokemon were very good.
Yes.
I thought they did that very well, and they connecting it up with like people in that city was really interesting, and it actually did it in a way in which I was like happy to watch that movie, even though I had very little interest in Pokemon. Yeah, I thought they did it really well. I just didn't care.
I think I gave up on Pokemon after Gen 3, which was around Ruby, I think it was.
Yes, indeed.
And, some of the new Pokemon turned up, and I was like, what the fuck is that?
See, I'm the opposite. I think given enough time, I could name them all. Like now.
Well, you got to catch them.
Yeah, I'm a massive
I really
fan.
want to
Huge
challenge you to
Pokemon
that
nerd.
right now, Rob. I really want to challenge you to that, but I'm not going to because we're already running kind of long, and that would push us way over the edge. So let's not do that. So,
I would politely decline.
Should we
at this
move
time
on
of evening.
to some good-looking news then?
No, I just want to before we move on to your games and stuff. I just wanted to.
I was just gonna say the good-looking news is Tom Holland and like Nathan Drake.
Yeah,
I wanted to touch on that, and I wanted to touch because of Resident Evil talk. What you guys thought of the Monster Hunter trailer? Yeah, because you're a big Mila Jovovich fan. It's her and her husband who obviously directed the Resident Evil movies, directing Monster Hunter, and they're both supposedly big Monster Hunter gamers, and they both love the franchise. And I'm like, have you seen the trailer? What do you think?
Yeah, I have. I never really played any of the Monster Hunter games though. I think it might have been the console, or maybe I probably just wasn't interested.
You Monster Hunter guy, Rob?
No, I'm not. I like the appeal of them. I've just never got round to them. However, I will be watching this movie when it comes out.
It looks so dumb, doesn't it? It looks like such dumb,
so
stupid
cool.
fun. I'm so up for it. Monsters, SEAL Team Monster fighting. Why not? Like, bring it on.
Sign me the fuck up.
You got Mila Jovovich in it. You've got Tony Jaa in there as well.
You don't see a lot of him in the trailer.
But
he's very cool.
Badass.
Yeah.
And I like it. It looks like again just one of those films that you can put on one afternoon and just go, yeah, why not? Let's give it a go.
Yeah,
and it'll probably just be a little bit of fun,
But let's get back to what you were talking about. Uncharted, right? The movie they've been trying to make for a really, really long time now. So long. Originally, Mark Wahlberg was attached to play Nathan Drake, but he's got too old, and now he's Sully. And so Tom Holland has come in, and he's playing Nathan Drake, and we saw our first shot of him as Nathan Drake today. What do you think? I think it looked pretty good.
Promising.
Looked pretty good.
Yeah.
He looks good. So good. I might leave the missus and go gay. Just saying.
Okay. I'm not sure how to follow that one up.
I mean,
but
that's a certain large amount of enthusiasm.
Oh yeah. That's exactly what happens when you watch like 4 movies of a guy in spandex.
He's good as Spider-Man, isn't he, Tom Holland? I think he's a good young actor. I think he's doing some good stuff, and I think he's convinced me to give him a go. As well, let's put it this way: after the train wreck of Andrew Garfield and what I think are some terrible films, which are the Sam Raimi ones, the bar was pretty low for Spider-Man. So I think Tom Holland kind of knocked it out of the park.
Before
Those Sam Raimi ones don't exist.
Just before that, okay, but Doc Ock as the bad guy, the way
he was great.
Moves was brilliant. Okay, that you can't knock all of the Sam Raimi. Spider-Man 2 was like the Redeemer, and then he started dancing.
Tobey Maguire is just garbage, though. Like he's
Our
just so
mutual
bad.
friend, our mutual friend, Dave Ben, he says that the at the time the best Spider-Man would have been Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker, but Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man.
That right there was what I was going to say.
Because Andrew Garfield was too cool to be Peter Parker.
And
He
too
was
old.
too mopey and
He was too
like-
old. He was meant to be in high school and he looked about 36.
What about bloody Tobey Maguire then? The dude's been like 40 for the last 10
I mean,
years.
he looked, at
But
least
they
he looked
pitched him
younger.
to be at college or university equivalent in America. They pitched him to be of that slightly older generation, so it worked.
No, Tobey Maguire starts in that first film in high school. Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, he does, doesn't
yeah.
he?
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, he's
But
running to
it's
catch
like-
the bus and everything.
But Tobey
Yeah.
Maguire trying to be that cocky Spider-Man that Spider-Man is, it was just like,
I think Holland Spidey is my favourite so far, except for
He's been a great mix. He's been a great mix.
except for Edge of the Spider-Verse or Into the Spider-Verse. What was it
Into
called?
the
The movie
Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse. Sorry, Edge was the comic.
I've not even seen it, and I know the name
That's
of
a
it.
very good film, Rob. You should see that film. It's really good. But anyway, we got off topic then, off topic completely, didn't we? Because we were meant to be talking about Uncharted. But anyway,
he looks great. He looks
does.
like he'd make a really good Drake.
it looks like a
That's the thing.
really
And-
good cosplay at this point.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. You know, they've got like the kind of the slightly sweated in shirt,
The Henley,
the weapon holster. They got the necklace on there as well. He just looks like he'd be a good Nate Drake in his early years. You know, if he was a bit more, if he was a bit older and a few films in, he's gone a bit more rugged, then he'd be like a perfect. You know, you can put a picture to side by side and just go, yeah, that was a good casting choice.
So finally here, Cam, before we move on, I want you to tell Rob. I'm going to do one as well. What's the one video game movie he has to see? Genuinely, because you like it, not because you want him to suffer. I think you should point that out. You got to watch Blood Rain. No.
I had to think about that. I'd probably say just for the cult history behind it and like the actors and how weird the whole thing kind of was. I think Street Fighter. Fighter, especially the actor who played Bison in it, he passed away. It's the same guy that played Gomez Adams.
Raul Julia. It was his last film. Yeah.
Raul Julia, thank you. And he was just an incredible villain in it.
What a presence! Just like chewing up the scenery whenever he's on there. Oh, so good.
And also, I believe Ming-Na Wen as Chun-Li.
She is. Yeah, from Agents of Shield. Yeah, that is true.
So I say Street Fighter, definitely.
Oh,
Ben, what are you going to suggest?
Okay, I'm gonna have to cheat a little bit, right? So in my heart,
No, I can cheat.
in my heart, it's the Doom movie, the first one with Dwayne. But from a film
It's like
perspective,
you know him, yeah, my mate Dwayne.
Oh God, I wish I knew him. Oh, I wish I knew him. It'd be so great to know him. Oh, I love him. But no, but from like a film perspective, I think you should watch Assassin's Creed because I think
I really want
a
to.
stunning movie, and you're a big AC fan, and you're looking forward to Valhalla, and it adds to the lore, and it adds stuff to the canon, and it's cool. Yeah, it's a really
If I
cool
could
film.
cheat like Ben's done, I'd do the same. But Street Fighter and then Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
So it sounds like Assassin's Creed is the top
I
of
might
the
watch
list.
Assassin's Creed this weekend. I've got
Right.
some time coming up on Sunday.
We're running long. We're already over our usual limit here, Cam. But we've done it special for you, brother. I think we should finish on you talking about some of the games you played in the long time since we last spoke. Because me and Rob have played is Destiny 2, and we've talked about that loads. So, yeah, talk about your games.
Well, you know, in this kind of trying time of COVID and being at home a lot more and working from home, I've had the chance to play, you know, catch up on the backlog of games. But the prominent one that I spent a good 2 days playing is that I played like the 1 to 4 of the Monkey Island games.
Wow.
And I have the Telltale series to wait, and they have their 30th anniversary coming up soon. And those are games that I hold very dear to my heart because I grew up playing them with my brothers and sister. At the age that they came out on, like the original, like I think it was like a floppy disk at one point, possibly,
Would have
maybe
been, I
even
think,
just
yeah.
when CD started. Early 90s on the PC. All of us were around from the age of like 4 upwards to about 9. And so we'd all sit at the PC together trying to figure out the puzzles.
How many of you?
4 of us.
Oh, mate, that's so adorable.
Awesome.
Yeah, 3 chairs, one for my brothers, one for me and my sister on my lap.
Oh man, that's so
and
cute.
that- it was such a wholesome thing. And like when the remakes and stuff came out, I played them and I streamed them to my thing, and I just sent them the links to my brothers and sisters. It's like, do you remember this? I just like finished all 4 games, and they were like, "Oh my god, did you use the monkey?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course I used the damn monkey on the. What do you think I am?" You know. And they just got filled with so much nostalgia. They were just like, and we literally just sat there and we were just like, oh my god! I remember like when Rosie had to sit on your knee because we didn't have enough chairs in the dining room. I was like, yeah, I know, I've got a dead leg from it all the time. So yeah, 30th anniversary is coming up, and so I might play through like the Tales of Monkey Island series just to get at it. And they are going to be releasing like a limited edition. I think it's about $160. I think limited edition. Like there's a statue and like a re-release and some of the artwork that comes with it. If I could spare it, that's the sort of thing I'd spend my money on rather than just the console because I'm that dedicated to the Monkey Island series.
Things it's got a special place for you.
Yeah,
something like that goes beyond 4K or 10K or whatever K we're on now on graphics and stuff. It's a connection to your past and your gaming heritage.
And strangely enough, everybody got giddy when I played through Uncharted 4, and I don't know if you guys know this, but there is a little Easter egg to the Monkey Island series because one of the pirates is Guybrush Threepwood. He's not named, but he's there in like character model. He's got the blue jacket on. He's slightly scrabbled chin and everything. And I was like, no way, that's totally fucking Guybrush Threepwood. And I took a picture and I sent it to everyone. I was like, look who I found in the new game. And they were like, what you play? Is it a new Monkey Island? It's like, sadly not. He's been dead about 400 years. And yeah, so that's been really cool. Me and a friend have been going through a lot of all the end game content of Borderlands 3, which has gotten some really cool DLCs, a lot of them tying into previous Vault Hunters and stuff.
Which DLC's been your favourite so far?
Oh,
I'm a massive Borderlands nut, so you are talking my language.
So, I mean, I enjoyed the Krieg DLC. It was really cool, and it was kind of wholesome ending. But the Bounty of Blood was really cool. Really enjoyed that change up there. So I think that's been my favorite one so far because it's something a bit new areas, new creatures, and stuff like that. Bounty of Blood definitely. But they've got like they've got the Halloween version like map coming back for a short time, which they always do. They're going to be bringing out a Mayhem 11. It's the biggest news. It goes up to, I don't know if you know much about Endgame Borderlands on Ben.
Oh, very much.
Ben, are you into your Borderlands at all?
I've gone to sleep with my eyes open. Don't worry.
Okay, that's cool.
It's fine. You have no taste. It's
no I've said with the new consoles, we're going to get Series X enhancement on launch day. I'm going to go back. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to try again. I bounced off Borderlands 3 probably like at 25%, 30% of the way in. But I haven't got the DLC. I haven't got the season pass for it. But if I get hooked in again, I'll definitely pick that up. Obviously, they're doing another season pass, aren't they? And they've got a new edition coming out. And there's loads and loads of more stuff that they're doing for it. So,
I think it's just good that they are, they're just keeping it coming, which is going to keep the player base going for a long time. I found it really easy. I don't know about you, Rob, but I found it really easy to level up in this one compared to like Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
My God, Borderlands 2 is such a grind. But like this one is like they brought out extra levels for the new content, and I got to it really quickly.
Good. Yeah, it was really nice how they added just enough levels that you were doing something until you got to the like mini campaign boss at the end of the expansion, but it wasn't like too easy. It was just enough. They pitched it very well there, I think.
Yeah.
The amount of levels
you can just it's just enough points to tweak your build that little bit better.
Exactly.
It's been really interesting. What's been your favorite?
Oh, for me, it is the Cthulhu Lovecraftian themed DLC by a country mile.
I didn't know that was a thing. I am more interested now.
Oh, yes.
You'd be even more interested to hear the title. Guns, Love, and Tentacles.
Yep.
Well, I've seen videos like that.
We're not talking about your internet history.
I know where this is going.
Don't know what you mean. I clean it every week.
It follows Hammerlock, Captain Hammerlock from Borderlands 2, and his marriage to a character who shall remain nameless. But it is a gay relationship, and it's just done. It's wonderful. It's excellent representation, and I love it.
And
mostly I love it for Cthulhu aspect, but you know.
But yeah, I mean, it's good that each content that's come out has been something fresh, which has been really cool, rather than just kind of adding on to the main campaign. Ben's falling asleep.
No, I was reading. I was reading what other games you played. See if you want to mention anything else. Because Days Gone, I've played. I've played some Days Gone.
Yeah, I asked for some advice, and you guys just said like good luck, and that's pretty much it.
I think you were like asking about it, and I was like, well, you know, don't expect too much. It's a pretty dead standard open world game, blah 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 blah. And you were like, well, that's not the kind of advice I wanted. But anyway,
yeah, I was like,
what you did there was provide a mini review, not advice.
Yeah, like, do I just need to farm for stuff, or do I just drive? And what do you want? And you're just like, tough shit.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I quite liked it.
Said like, "Oh, just take care of your bike," and I was like, "Oh, that's better than what Ben gave me." Jesus.
Hey, nobody ever said critics were useful. Okay, that's not why we're here. We're not trying to be useful. We're just trying to spout shit to make ourselves sound important. So remember that.
I mean, the Days Gone has been fun. It is a like I said, a nice big open world. But you know, I saw like the trailers when it first came out and didn't really think much about it. I saw that there's a nice horde of zombies, and I was like, "Oh, okay, that's quite a few."
Freakers? Don't you mean freakers, Cam?
Sorry, freakers.
Not zombies. They're very different, don't you know?
But yeah, I just didn't. I honestly didn't realize how many freakers you can come across.
So I've got to bring this up. Doesn't that annoy you? Doesn't it ever annoy you when you play or see zombie fiction, play or see, right? And they don't call them zombies, as if the world they came from didn't have the concept of zombies in it. So when the name came up, they were like, "Oh no, we can't call them zombies. Well, we don't know what a zombie is, so we're going to call them something else." It's like, fuck's sake, they're always zombies. Why don't you just call them zombies? That really bugs me. Sorry. No,
I get it. Yeah, Walking Dead, they call them walkers or biters.
What the fuck is a zombie?
It's a zombie, bro. Like, does George A. Romero not exist in your world?
Yeah, exactly. But that's the problem, because he can't have existed in those worlds, right? Because everybody would be way more fucking prepared for them if he had. So it's like, you know, you'd be a lot less surprised. Oh, yeah, I've read about zombies for the last 50 years. The man, there's a zombie out there. We can hit the brain, all good, sorted, yeah? Story over.
Rather than people backing away going, Andrea, it's me, it's your brother. It's like, no, Jesus, Andrea's gone. Let me get the shovel. Hold on. Bonk. Yeah, the zombie apocalypse would have been done in like 3 days if you came across like video gamers, although not many of them are probably as healthy as you need to be to run away from zombies. At least they'll know, oh, that'll be a headshot.
I tell you what, right? If we'd had a zombie outbreak in March, rather than COVID, it would have been dealt with within a month. And we would not be still dealing with it now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It would have been long dealt with, wouldn't it? I'm not wrong, am I? I mean, everybody would be just like, I know, zombies, sorted, you know, bummer. Was a bit grim there for a minute, but all good. You know, it wouldn't be a year later, which is
it's the Days Gone zombies that if we had that kind of infection, that's when you know you're screwed, because every single one of them can run.
Yeah, or the World War Z or Zombieland as well. A lot of them run, don't they? Yeah.
And like the first time I came across like a horde of them, like I went into a mine. I was like, I was driving on the motorbike, and I was like,
bicycle.
Oh. Very different game. I tell you what, The Walking Dead would be a lot easier if they had bicycles. You know, zombies can't hear you of a motor coming. You know, God forbid. But if everyone's just cycling along,
squeaking along on a push bike.
Yeah, WD-40 becomes like the most sought after product. But I drove into a mine. And
that seems like a bad idea.
And I was like, "What?" I was like, "Oh, can I get through here?" And I turned a corner, and there's just like 30 of them just like crouched on the floor. I'm just like, this was a bad idea. So I sort of backed out as slowly as I could, but because the light had flashed on them, they instantly just sort of went, no, get him! And so I drove out, and like I looked behind me, and there is about 60 of them literally chasing me down a hill, and I'm just like, I ain't gonna do that again. And of course, it's not that kind of game where you can just pick up ammo and just carry a machine gun belt-fed M42 to mow them down. It is a survival game, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm just noping out of there. Bye.
Back onto the motorbike and fucking off.
It does that well. It does that side of it well, I think. Yeah, the large hordes on screen, or how they move like the ants and they climb over things and they ramp up, and I think that's quite it's quite scary. Yeah, it's sadly the other stuff of that game of like the human stuff and all of that is just a bit.
Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, continuing on like with zombies, like I said before, I bought Resident Evil 2, the remake, and again, one of the games I played in my childhood with my brothers and stuff like that. And back then on PS1, that was scary. What? You know, you had like the camera in the corner, and you could only go near, and that was it. Like I approached the stairs at one point in it, and like I stopped halfway up because I fully expected an animation to like make me go and take me upstairs. But no, I had like full control over everything. I was like, oh, okay, cool, that's fair enough. And then yeah, some real like clenching moments in there that I just did not remember from my childhood. You know, with the Mr. X turning up for the first time, I was just like, oh, he's bigger than before, isn't he? Oh, it was terrifying. And last but not least, my what I've really had a lot of trouble getting into is Neo, the NIOH.
Yeah, isn't that meant to be
It's a
like
bit of a Neo miss.
Isn't it meant?
It is
Isn't that meant to be balls hard as well? Like seriously challenging, Souls like.
It is. I mean, as long as you get, you know, enough a decent enough weapon and armor, obviously that helps out. But again, it's Souls like, so you kind of have to tweak your gameplay style, which is really difficult because I'm so used to just block, block, parry, you know, attack. That's cool, but they have different stances, which really threw me. Like you have like a high stance, which is like a heavy attack. The low stance is light and like really quick attack. But like I don't think I've used either of those two. I've stayed just like the middle, the middle version, because that's just what it's worked for me so far.
Yeah.
But it is really difficult. And like if you're like me and you just want to play it and just try it out, you can't, because you really do need to kind of like train, and you need to check the tutorial for the extra things that you can do. Because you'll come across a couple little zombie-esque characters, or should I say freaker-esque characters.
It's all the kids are calling them now.
Yeah, and then you come across this one area where like a mini boss will show up and will just decimate you, and you're just sat there just going, no, dodge, just get the fuck out of the way, because there's some attacks you just can't block, and you just get screwed. But I've been enjoying it though. It's just getting me ready for like the next Demon Souls when it finally gets re-released.
Training.
It is just training, man. It's
Gonna be ready.
Limbering up, yeah.
I'm imagining some sort of Rocky montage now of you just picking up your controller and just like, yeah, at the TV.
And then just dead-eyed for 40 minutes. Just,
Yeah.
And then your missus comes in and just wipes your brow.
Yeah. Orange wedge into the mouth. And
no reaction, just focused.
Yeah, the tiger babe.
It's brilliant. Perfect.
You're enjoying it? Yeah, it's the thrill of the fight, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
You gotta rise up to the challenge, you know, of our rivals.
Damn straight. Damn straight.
And then, but unfortunately for you guys, I haven't really touched on Destiny 2. I'm sorry. Would you like to talk about Destiny 2?
No, we're good. We talk about Destiny 2 pretty much every week. So
we've talked about it enough.
Yeah, for now. We'll skip over that one.
I think I'll need to just kind of read up on what the whole Beyond Light is bringing to the table, and then I'll probably fire it up again just to give it a go. I've got almost a max level. Was it a Warlock, I think?
Yeah, Warlocks!
Right answer.
Correct choice.
What platform are you guys on? I've forgotten.
Xbox and Steam.
Okay, so I won't be playing with you guys ever again.
See, that's because you don't have the right console, mate. You need to sort that out.
Yeah.
You need to get your life priorities correct, and you need to get Xbox, okay? That's the way
I mean, I'm having the green light for the Xbox this week. And I was watching on YouTube.
Sorry.
I think that brings us to the end of the episode, wouldn't you guys say? And on that lovely vomit noise, I think it's time to wrap this one up.
The last time I did actually play, strangely enough, Destiny 2, I managed to transfer my character to Google Stadia's version of Destiny 2.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I did that is because I took my partner's laptop to work with me whilst it was really quiet, and I just played Stadia at work with a controller. And it worked.
And do you know what? That sounds like a good use of time at work. I like that.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely should have been with more customers, but I still got paid. I don't care.
That's the spirit. Yeah, so that's the end of another episode, an extra bumper length Cam Returns episode of Experience Kills After Dark. Yeah, where we all ramble incoherently even more than usual due to the fact that it's the middle of the week and late at night when we usually do this first thing on a Sunday morning. But this episode will be going up at the usual time on the weekend, so this whole thing I'm talking about will make even less sense to you when you watch this. But enjoy. I hope it's been a good episode. I have been Ben. You can find me at DIYE on Twitter. You can find this guy down there. That's Rob. He is available on Twitter at Homeless Mr. Gibbs. Over here, this guy, that's Cameron, and he can be found at Camelot on Twitter. You can find us all on Twitter at Experience Kills. If you've been watching this on YouTube, I implore you, give us a like and subscribe. I don't ask for anything else. I don't ask for much from you guys, do I? Do I ask for money? No, I don't ask for money. Do I make you watch adverts? No, I don't make you watch adverts. So just give us a like and subscribe. No, Cameron doesn't get the money. I get the money. But there's no money. If there was money, I'd get it, all right? Just stop, Cameron. You're barely ever here. But yeah, we don't do that here because we're amazing and we just want to talk about video games for no money. So give us a like and subscribe because we're approaching a big milestone. And you know what? If that's going to kind of roughly be at the same time as the next generation of consoles and we're looking at doing something for that, maybe giving away some codes or games or prizes or competition, we're still working that out. But if we hit that 1,000 subs, we're going to do something. Okay? I promise. Beyond that, if you don't have time to sit and watch these amazing YouTube videos, you can, of course, find us wherever a podcast can be found now, including Alexa and Google Home, right? We're on there. You can just say, play, basically, Experience Kills, and you will hear us coming through as a podcast with the latest episode directly into your earlobes. You can, of course, take us on the go with your iTunes podcast, with Spotify, with Acast, with Google Play's thing, whatever they call that. Yeah, it's all over the place. And look, we've got the podcast cat here in with us at the end of the show. Arthur is here making an appearance where Rob is giving him some beautiful little chin tickles. I know how good those feel.
I can bring in the birthday boy even to bring in my 3-year-old son. You know,
we only do animal-based mascots. I think we'd find children a bit odd. Just pop him on your knee.
You've clearly never seen him eat because that kid's an animal.
I mean, I did see pictures of that thing when you did that mess play thing, and that just looked wrong. So yeah, let's not talk about that. But no, good derailment in my outro there, by the way, Cam. Nice one.
You're welcome.
But no, actually, I think we should blame Arthur anyway. He started it. But no, anything else I've forgotten, Rob? Because I don't know. You've done these with me a bunch now, so you can give me something for a change.
Yeah, no, I think we have hit on all the major points. Like you said, we are getting close to that 1,000 subscribers. If you do want to subscribe, please do. Follow us for more awesome video game related content and weird ass ramblings like you've heard this evening.
Cam's just pushed his microphone out of the way. Is he going to bring his child in? What's happening right now?
No. It was just in the way while I was moving this.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like some dramatic thing at the end of the episode, but that's fine.
Right,
so,
he's been here the whole time.
Keep your eyes on this channel. Keep your eyes on this channel for more of the latest video game news, reviews, opinions, and I tell you, we're going to do a live unboxing of the new hardware when it comes in on November the 10th. Me and Rob will be doing that.
It's going to be a pain if our deliverers aren't in sync.
One of us could be waiting.
Just sit here.
One of us could be waiting for a while for the other one. Yeah, so fingers crossed, as we live pretty near each other, they'll come in at kind of the same time. Fingers very well and truly crossed. I don't know if I can wait. But there we go. Right, so until next time, a regularly scheduled podcast, as it will be, with Richard returning with us. We're going to have a new feature announced in that episode as well, which I'm really looking forward to talking about, which is going to be a lot of fun. So until then, at the end of this very long episode, I say goodbye and good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.